gentlemen, I'm joined by the two-time world champion, a staple to the Call of Duty scene, a legend. Give it up for the 20-time Mr. Patty P. Aches, ladies and gentlemen, the co-host of The Flank. Pat, what's going on?
Not much, but honestly, for this episode, Tom, I want to get this episode started with a nice Lynn in the chat.
A Len.
We had like a 7-hour delay. It's 1 a.m. We're starting to flank, and we know whose fault that is, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and get a nice Lynn to start it off, and then yeah, it'll be a good show.
Drop a Len in the chat. We also got a special guest for the weekend. You guys know the legend himself, the world champion, another staple to the scene, Mr. Parasite, aka Chris. Chris, how you doing? You doing well or what?
Yeah, doing good, bro. Same thing as the rest of the weekend. We've been just having a watch party together, just watch all the matches. Today was long, but it was
very long.
It had some really exciting moments, man.
Really exciting moments. We had 5 matches today, guys. And listen, guys, we've been watching matches for probably the last 10 hours now. It's 1 a.m. I know usually we do shows that are about like, hour and a half, 2 hours long. I think this show might be a little bit different, man. We just kind of want to breeze by, give our thoughts, and kind of get by it. I know a lot of people don't like when we do that. They think we're kind of rushing the show, but it's super late. So I hope you guys understand. And we just want to get by. We're definitely going to break down the FaZe OpTic series. We know a lot of people want us to talk about that. But we're going to talk about the matches, give our thoughts, and keep it pushing. We'll give our thoughts about tomorrow and our predictions, and we'll call it a night, and we'll be back. So let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. We start things off with the Paris Legion going up against the Boston Breach. Take a look at the veto system. We got Boat Cage, Hardpoint, Berlin, S&D, Tuscan Control, Berlin, Hardpoint, Tuscan, S&D. I'll start things off. I think Paris should walk away from this tournament with their head held high. I thought they played well this weekend. Not good. Like, I don't think they did anything like special, but they looked a lot better than what they have been. And I guess that's a W, no?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it is for sure. I think this was a great showing for Tom Gravity overall. Something we spotlighted a little bit yesterday was, per the rumors, Fellow was kind of on the chopping block if they were to make another roster change for Jimbo.
Mm-hmm.
And we were kind of talking about like, well, today would be like his match, right, to show out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he didn't show out. I think he ended with a negative 30.7 in this specific series. So I do agree with you, though. I think as an org and the guys on the team that are, that we know are going to be on the team, I think they can walk away with their heads held high. But after this series today, I don't anticipate to see Fellow on this roster any longer.
So you think Fellow's done? You think he's done after this? I mean, we'll see. Obviously the Jimbo rumors, right? People have been talking about Jimbo, so I guess they're just gonna bring Jimbo in. Which honestly, bro, Jimbo's a good player. That kid's good. Like, Jimbo by no means is a bad player. That kid is definitely talented, so it might be a good fit for them. Definitely feel bad for Tyler if that is the case. I mean, I feel like Fellow has had like spurts where you could see great, good things from him. But
I mean, Desi as well, right?
And Desi. I mean, there's just been a lot of inconsistencies,
This team to me, and Chris, you kind of can probably spotlight this. They just, all of them looked super uncomfortable on their roles. Like we were talking about yesterday, like who knew Fellow was running a main AR on this roster? I think this roster is put together kind of without really taking into account how this game was going to play out. And yeah, they just all 4 of them seem super uncomfortable going into this. I think that's why these swaps are happening.
Yeah. And go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're talking about Paris here, and it's a great thing that they brought in Tom Grav. Donnie looks like he's playing well. John looks all right, but they do definitely need to bring in. It's going to be, just like New York, it's more than a one-person thing if they want to actually start to see a little bit more consistency. So I'm interested to see if the rumors are true and they do bring in Jimbo to see what kind of impact. But I mean, you can't really take too much away from this week besides any positives, man. Like Tom played well. I don't think we already talked about, he's not a superstar, but he's going to be that rock for them. And I think if Jimbo comes in and makes a big impact, they can, start to turn some heads maybe. I mean, they looked pretty decent in this Boston series, and Boston, placed what they placed top 6.
Boston got top 6. Yeah.
To be
that's
fair,
not
though,
bad.
Chris,
So
and I do want to talk about this because I think Boston played better than I thought they would have in general. But I think out of everyone that did get top 6, they kind of had the so-called easy run for them, right? Like Florida and Paris, those are the teams that we kind of had in the lower part of our tiers anyway, right? Bottom and last, second to bottom. But I think they impressed me overall. I think this team does have a high ceiling and a bright future. But
I agree. I think the first map, Boston had a really big lead, and I can't believe they honestly they trolled it. I think they trolled this map. I mean, they were up 100 points. So what do we do on both cages? We times it by 2, and Paris was still able to bring it all the way back. It was definitely a really good second half of the game from John and Tom. They started off really slow, and they picked it back up. TJ started hot. It just seemed like Boston slowed down. So a good momentum for Paris after this first map. After they won the first map, I was like, damn, anything could happen in this series. I could definitely see Paris taking it. They won this first map, right? Or am I drunk?
This was
It's been a long day.
Donnie was having his way.
Yeah, Donnie was having his way. I had Donnie for the over today for 60 kills.
Oh, that was free cash.
That was free cash, man. I had him for the over today. So shout out to Don for the cash. But Paris, they win the first map. We get into the S&D. It was a Berlin S&D. Anything that caught you guys eye in the Berlin S&D? Anything? I know there was a lot of aggression up on that B site. Once again, for me, it was just a lot in the mid games, the 2-3 round, the 3-3, and the 3-4 round. Just a lot of crazy plays, which I could show and highlight you guys. But what were your guys' thoughts on the Berlin Surge?
I mean, I just thought it was continued clinical S&D performance out of Boston. We kind of talked about them, the S&D kind of being their backbone. I just thought they played really well as a team on this map.
Yeah,
I think this map is going to become their kind of like bread and butter, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think this is a map that's going to start getting vetoed,
versus them
quite heavily. Seems like every time they play this map, it's been like their saving grace, and I don't think people are going to play them on it anymore.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. There was a Ninja Defuse. There was a 1v3 from TJ in this round. TJ Haley was able to clutch a 1v3, and maybe it was a little momentum switch for them. You see that happen a lot where players are clutching up, and then it just completely switches the momentum, which, I mean, that's a typical thing in COD, but TJ, with some superstar plays, gets the trade here, makes it a 1v2 situation, only has 25 seconds left on the clock, and has to get that bomb down. He ends up finding another kill here. He gets a pick onto Fellow, and I don't know how the hell he won that. But he kills Fellow. He rotates the bomb over to mid, and he catches Tom sprinting. So just a really good heads-up play out of TJ. I thought it would be nice to highlight that and show him some love. And then also in the 3-3 round, there was a Ninja Defuse. There was a Ninja Defuse in the 3-3 round, which was a little weird. Did you guys see this round, by the way? When John wasn't popping up?
I got to see it again.
Look at this.
Been such a long
They're
day.
defusing the bomb. Look, Cap's just on the bomb. John's right here. He's not checking the bomb. He's just like I don't know.
He's blinking. He's got something in his eye.
You think so? What the fuck was that? I was very cool. I wonder what the communication was right there.
I bet the comms were just whoever his teammate was in the back was probably like saying I got bomb, but like kind of played it where he didn't have bomb for a little bit, so John didn't want to peek and die. But yeah, that was bad.
I think the guy in the back was just blinking like heavily.
and then
fell asleep on his controller.
And then Boston's up 4-3, so they get the Ninja Defuse. That round should have went to Paris, in my opinion. That should have went to Paris. It should probably be 4-3 Paris right now. And then the next round, you have a 2v4 in favor of Paris, a 4v2 in favor of Paris, and they troll it. Tony goes big. Tony was able to pop a couple kills back here in the back, playing that post plant spot. And Nero was able to pinch it from behind. So just honestly good plays by Boston to clutch up this map, because if they go down 2-0, this series can look a lot different. Even though guys going up 2-0 these days doesn't fucking mean anything. Depending on the couple series we watched today, and we'll get there. There's a couple reverse sweeps.
I'm be honest, man. Like I think Boston's kind of lucky they woke up and played, Paris first game of the day.
Yeah.
Because if they probably played like a better team, they were probably chalked, because I don't think they were playing too like their COD the COD they were playing early in the series was pretty terrible, and I think Paris could have easily gone up 2-0. But then they ended up kind of like clutching up in those S&Ds, getting a few wake up plays is what I like to call them, where people are clutching up and getting hyped and stuff like that, and it allowed them to carry that momentum forward.
I mean, how they played against Toronto versus how they played against Paris looked like a totally different team, and honestly looked like a totally different methods.
Yeah,
I mean, I know we'll get to that series later,
we'll get to that series. Tony showed out today. He looked good. Bro, this Boston team has a lot of potential. They do. Like Capsule and Nero and TJ, all three of them, they work really well off each other, and they're super aggressive. You could tell that they're starting to hit form, and if Tony's kicking up on top of that as the main AR, kind of looking over everybody. I mean, this team is set up for success. It's just, I feel like for them, they're gonna have to take down some of the top teams to get some confidence. I feel like they have it in them. Obviously, they went last map with Toronto, and we'll get there, like you said, Pat. But it's gonna take some time. I feel like there's definitely a pretty good ceiling with these guys. And they won the offense. We get into the Tuscan control. Boston starts it off right there, as you saw on the screen, and with just a quick stack. They got both points very, very quick. And I'm going to be honest with you, when you win an offense like that, right off the rip on Tuscan control, it was pretty much smooth sailing for them after that. So I don't know if there's anything that caught you guys' eye during this map, but Boston came out hot on this one. And once they won that first offense, they just, played discipline, kept the fundamentals right, won the defenses, and closed out the game.
Yeah, honestly, Nero was just frying.
And Nero was unbelievable.
This map.
Unbelievable,
just
bro.
want to touch on that. He's like, in my opinion, he's obviously their best player right now.
You think so? You think Nero's the best?
Yeah, like he's raw, dude. He's disgusting.
He is good,
especially when he gets going. He's probably their most impactful player in respawns, and he did his thing this
I
month.
figured he was going to be good because my cousin Vinny was always gassing up Nero poison. After Standy, then it was Nero. He was a Nero.
I found Nero in World War II ranked play. And then I he was underage the entire time. Yeah, and in BO4 he played a lot of S&D. Like me and Fellow knew him like pretty early in his career, I guess. And Fellow's kind of almost like his dad because he knew him before I did. It's actually kind of funny that they played each other and he kind of like showed out.
Wait, I didn't even know that. That's actually kind of crazy.
Yeah, he was like with that whole group of players, Mac, Exceed, Nero, Sib.
Yeah.
All of them were like the up and coming players back in like World War II BO4 era. Yeah. And he finally got his chance after being an LAG, and he's disgusting, dude. I have nothing.
No, he's
nothing
very
but
good.
good to say about Nero.
No, I agree. I think he's a really talented player. And then we get into the Berlin Hardpoint. And this was just the TJ and Nero show again. I mean, Nero really closed out these last couple maps against pairs. He was having an absolute day. He was all over the map, and so was TJ. They definitely closed out this series. It felt like Boston did a good job in their hard points, man. Especially Tony. Not so much this map, but Tony was showing out today in the hard points as well. So just good plays from Boston to close out the series and not go last map. Because when it goes last map, you know how that goes. You never know who's gonna win. You can see here just in the Berlin, they got control. It was towards the second half of the game where they just built a pretty good lead, and just good plays. Honestly, I was really impressed with the young guns, the rookies this weekend, and Boston should be happy. Obviously, there's another series after this, but they should be happy with a top 6 placing. I don't think that's what they wanted, but it wasn't too bad. I think they did.
Yeah, I don't think it was a loss for them by any means.
I think a lot of people probably didn't rate them as highly as they placed and stuff like that. So now that they obviously proved that they can hang with the big dogs for a little bit, I think they're going to need to expand their map pool, and that's where I'm kind of worried for them because I feel like they played a lot of the same maps. And granted, they were playing really well in them, if not winning them. Yeah. So I think people are going to catch on to that, and they're going to have to expand their map pool, and we'll see how that happens.
And a lot of teams have to expand their map pool.
That's going to hurt a lot of teams.
Yeah,
especially as the year goes on and more teams get more data. Of how teams play. But for me, and that's kind of why I really like Thieves, because I think they have the biggest map pool of any team almost right now. So yeah, I think that is going to hurt kind of these teams like Boston as we go on, but it's something to keep an eye on for sure.
Yep, and then we get into the London versus Toronto series. London Royal Ravens going up against the Toronto Ultra. Gavitu Hardpoint, Berlin S&D, Gavitu Control, Berlin Hardpoint, and Desert Sea has got a couple Gavitus. What do you guys think? Any thoughts? Any initial thoughts?
This map pool kind of confused me. I mean, I think they're both good on Gavitu, but it is kind of like weird to see these two teams in particular playing 2 Gavitus.
Yeah.
I think Ravens were the higher seed. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. This series just surprised me in general. I don't know if you saw, I think it was Bance or Cammy's tweet. Like they're 5-0 in S&D so far, and 5-0 in S&D and 0-6 in Hardpoint.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So
wait, who? Cammy tweeted that?
Yeah, Ultra.
They're 0-6 in Hardpoint?
They haven't won a single Hardpoint. Yeah.
Wow.
Think about it. They beat Thieves in 2-3-5, right? So they lost both Hardpoints, won both searches.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened in this series. So
interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, right? For Ultra to be that bad at Hardpoint. I mean, they're not like the staple, but they usually clutch up and they have their maps.
Yeah, they should be better than 0-6.
Right. They're definitely better than 0-6.
Yeah.
But I think what we're seeing is like they're not clutching up, and I don't know. Berlin was their like godlike hardpoint throughout stage 1 or major, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't seem to look like they're kind of guaranteed map pick anymore.
Yeah. And I this first map is just, bro, this was back and forth the whole game. They just kept trading rotations. They rotate. they split time. It was just going back and forth the whole game, and you could say until honestly the last couple hills, which is where I think things got a little bit mixy.
Did you see that, by the way? That where that dude like glided across whoever he's shooting at. If you back it up like 5 seconds from when you just were, when whoever that was.
Oh yeah, what the
Kleenex,
fuck? Yeah. Gizmo, what the hell was that? What was that?
I think I saw someone. I think I saw somebody tweet that somebody like not on this POV threw a stun at that door. And the door flung open.
Oh, that's
and,
probably what it was.
Yeah. Across the room. But yeah, bro, from the Cockcaster vision,
that looks
it looked
insane.
fucking absurd.
That
it looked
looks
like he dashed.
Yeah,
like
Trey just put it in the
dash.
chat. Trey put in the chat that the door pushed him away. Really good discipline from London to just but Toronto was building a lead, and like I said, they were just trading hills one after the other. As you can see towards the end of this game, it was 200-200, and it pretty much just came down to a bunch of mixy trades in the hard point. I mean, this was a battle. This first map was a battle of the Euros, man. These guys were going at it. And I think London winning this first map was a good like a booster for them, a good confidence boost.
Yeah, I feel like London is a very momentum heavy team.
I feel like every
just
team is momentum heavy.
Well, like with their play style, like they just like to play like fast. They like to play like they're just super aggressive and stuff like that. And if you get shut down in a game one, like that's just gonna I feel like that's gonna throw you off.
Yeah, and as you guys can see, it was a really close game towards the end of it, and we could tune in and just watch it a little bit as they close it out. But it ended off on a third rotation back over to P1. And it was just a mix fest. Grenades are flying everywhere. The floods are in. I feel like on this P1 hill, it's just a constant flood fest. They're just coming off spawn and they're just flooding the point. So
and I mean, I thought
plays.
Toronto had it into the end, right? They had that rotation and just got broken. And I think that goes to say like how good London really is at breaking hard points. But to me, I mean, I know we're only first map, but this really for the people that were doubting them before, I think this really solidifies London as that like A tier guaranteed type of team. And obviously there were opinions who they had them there before, but I think this also makes Trey 10-1 now against Bance in series.
Damn. Hey, Trey, you had a blind counter, Trey. You had a blind counter.
Pretty absurd stat against one person.
Yeah, that is nuts. 10-1. Jeez, that's crazy. That's a good stat if you're Trey. Delusional confident against Toronto Ultra. And then we get into the Berlin S&D, which
it's close to me versus OpTic. It's like.
Listen, guys, as much as I want to break down the S&D and go over it, this map got replayed or restarted 5 fucking times, man. I mean, I'm looking at the timestamps and there's
just
map.
Skip it, bro.
Yeah, let's say we just skip it.
I don't remember shit about this.
Dude,
you can't remember it because they just kept ending the game. So I just felt like these rounds.
Wait, Trey, you are in chat. What was going on? What was actually let us know what was happening.
Well, apparently they were falling through the map.
But then there was like audio bugs. I saw Kleenex fucking with his headset. Like, bro, there's so much going on.
I'm down to skip it. I'm down to fucking skip it because that map was a headache. That wasn't even enjoyable to watch. They ended it 4 times. I don't know if for those of you who aren't watching and are just tuning into the flank trying to get an update, there was multiple problems round after round in S&D, and it just kept restarting. And honestly, London was bullying them anyway. They just kept winning rounds. It kept ending it and restarting, and it was bad. London won pretty convincingly though in the S&D, if I remember correctly. Did they? I'm pretty sure.
Ultra came back and won.
Oh, Ultra came back. Yeah, Ultra came back. Yeah. Oh wait, they were up 5-2. So they
Kleenex had one of those restarts. He went like 8-0, got a glide bomb.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it was a weird ass map.
Yeah, no, that map was fugazi, and then we get into the Gav 2 control, which I feel like on this map, like these two teams going at it on Gav control. Is pretty even. I feel like they match up really well against each other on this map, and it was 5 defensive wins, literally. All 5 rounds are just won by teams holding on the defense and just.
If we go to round 5, I actually thought Toronto was gonna do it. It got to the very end at 2-2 when Toronto got like this insta 4-piece, and I don't know what happened. I feel like they definitely could have won that round, but they played like really weird. I can't remember if it was Cammy or Kleenex's POV who like pushed up in front of their house. And he like turned his back to people he knew he was there and ended up getting shot in the back. I guess it was Kleenex right here. Like, like he knew that they had just got a 4-piece and he just like turned his back and sprinted up the stairs.
Yeah.
I felt like if he just played kills right there to the left and got like one opener, I think they could have done it. I mean, it was literally like what 5-8 in lives. And they had, a lot of control over at ring after just 4 wiping them. So
honestly, I feel like Nasty made a good play to get aggressive mid right there. I don't think Toby realized he was going to be there. So I think Toby was going to take a route and go green and maybe try and flank and try and make a play.
Well,
Um,
what I'm saying though is they got 4 dead. Like I feel like they could have just instantly pushed and gotten
just
position
got
to spawn
into
trap.
yeah,
But
just get on the point, honestly, and just look over. Somebody should just hit the point.
Off topic, but I can't wait until the control change just for the game mode. Like, and it definitely bothered me as a player, but even like as a spectator, it bothers the shit out of me. Like the control rule right now, how it's like kills, because I mean, like with how defensive sided a lot of these maps are, and it's just going down to kills. Like I'm not gonna say that Ultra would have won on defense, but like the series could basically be completely different, you know, just based on the game mode. So it's kind of sucks. But,
Yeah, they're gonna change
well, I mean,
it.
you saw that offense round. Like it was like 3 offensive rounds where they literally both teams just played kills. Like they just chalked it, sat in their spawn and played kills. And yeah, that's miserable to watch.
Yeah. No, it's terrible. I mean, even when they're on listenings with people in control, you hear them like, "Yo, don't move, like sit in the back, play for kills, this and that." I mean, the way the game mode is played right now is kind of ridiculous. What did you guys think about the back-to-back listenings today? I fucking loved it.
Yeah, I like that too.
I liked it
that
too.
was good. In a super intense match like that or map, like that was perfect.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna tune into any listenings right now. I just want to kind of talk about the series. But if you guys want to go back, it was pretty cool to hear back-to-back listenings. They haven't done that before. They haven't done that before.
I want to see a listening at the end of the game, bro. I want that so bad, like a close ass
like
game,
like
and
brutal,
you just go in.
Yeah,
like if it's like 220, cut the casters, just go into a listening. You could fucking switch teams if you wanted to, but I feel like back-to-back listenings at like the very end of a clutch game would be fucking nuts.
Yeah, I agree.
True.
And then in the Berlin Hardpoint, honestly, London worked a couple breaks at the end of this map. I feel like Toronto, that were rotating, trying to hold, and London broke them twice, which isn't London the best breaking hardpoint team right now?
Yeah, number 1, I think. They're number 1 in a lot of statistical stuff. If you look at their S&Ds, they're also number 1 in a lot, like offensive, like post plan, I think, or first blood. Like they have some of the best stats, like when we're talking about game mode stats, out of any team in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, by what you're saying, it looks like they're just like the best aggressive team. Like they're good at just being the aggressor when they have to break a setup or something like that, where they have to break a bomb site.
Yeah.
Like it's first bloods. Like they're just really aggressive and they know how to play aggressive.
Yeah, you can see it here. The last couple of hills is when they really started to work them. And they just kept breaking Toronto. Like it was like pulling hair. It was frustrating to watch because Toronto, they just couldn't hold. Especially right here, I love this play from Afro. I like this. Afro hits mid to break this P1 hill, right? And then he pinches, and then instead of just hitting hill, he puts his back up against this wall so he can't get shot in the back, and he cuts off the spawners. It's just a really good play. It's a really good play. Afro's pretty much calling game here, and he just kind of pushes them out, delays their push, and London's able to soak up some time and get the W. So really good heads-up play out of Afro to get mid-map, get a piece, and push out those cuts. That's what a top SMG player does. So good plays out of Afro, and good job by the London Royal Ravens for clutching up the map.
And to Ultra's credit, although they have a terrible hardpoint record, a lot of their maps are pretty close.
Yeah,
so
they like always get over 200. Always.
Yeah, once they start to ice up, they're gonna look a lot scarier, and they might look in form like they did last year. Because that's, I think, the one thing that's holding them back right now is their hardpoint game. Everything else is pretty good, pretty even. But their hardpoint is they just have no ice right now.
And then we get into the series everybody wants us to talk about. These are 2 of the biggest organizations in the game, 8 of the best players you'll ever see, and they're going head to head. We got a Bo Cage Hardpoint, Berlin S&D, Tuscan Control, Gavitu Hardpoint, Tuscan S&D, OpTic Texas going up against Atlanta FaZe. Guys, give me your initial thoughts. Pat, I know you have OpTic as an S-tier team, and I think you can't even argue it anymore. They're definitely an S-tier team. I agree with you. I think right now OpTic really showed what they're capable of. They did. They outplayed FaZe today. I think when FaZe was up 2-0, I even said, I don't think there's no way FaZe trolls a 2-0 lead. I was like, there's no way. And then OpTic just turned the fuck up, and that's definitely something you want to see. They outplayed them. OpTic outplayed them.
Yeah, and I mean, you saw, like, we were kind of talking about these 2 teams in general. These teams shouldn't be playing Gavitu Hardpoint early on. At least we had mentioned that, and obviously it comes up in this series. But Seth being that kind of one to switch, I think before it was Shotzi. But Seth switching was a really good idea. He's ran an AR in the past for some of his teams back in the day.
Yeah.
But he really excelled in that. And then overall, I think I kind of spotlighted it a little bit before we got into this major, that I thought Bruce, no matter what OpTic is going to end up placing this tournament, I thought he would have the best stats from anybody from the tournament. And we're kind of seeing that, man. Like, I know it was mainly on Tuscan Control and later in the series, but he literally was just posted up and getting kills and not dying.
Didn't he have like a 1.5 or some shit today against? And that's against Atlanta FaZe, which is like ridiculous.
Yeah, Tuscan Control, dude. He's just.
I think he just got in his element where he's just like, I'm gonna post up on the map map and I'm gonna hold control, like, and y'all do your thing. Like, I think he's just kind of in that element. He doesn't have to be the flashy player like he was necessarily in BO4 and has been in his career. He's just like, yo, I know my shot is gross. I'm gonna do everything I can to hold map control. And yeah, his team's able to get Mixie, in front of him.
Dude, I fucking love Seth with an AR. Seth with an AR is fun to watch, bro. I mean, he used to run an AR in like MW3 and shit. Remember, like back in the day?
He's ran it a lot in the
and he was good as fuck with it. I mean, I just feel like it fits him. Like he can use it at times, like especially on an AR map. It's
because he plays not to get traded. Like if you kind of watch Seth how he plays in general, he plays to kind of not get traded after he gets a kill. So it really benefits on an AR. Obviously, if you're frying as a sub, it helps. But
yeah,
we saw on that Gav2 hardpoint, he had 33 kills and like 29 of them were untraded because he just gets his kill and plays his life and only takes, advantage fights. He doesn't chow things that he doesn't have the advantage in. I think that's a good, attribute for any AR player in general. But yeah, props to him.
Honestly, this
up.
entire series, it was the Scump and Dashy show up until Shotzi basically turned up on that. Like,
well, the second half of the series, Shotzi went crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what makes him scary. OpTic Texas is another Atlanta FaZe. They're all talented from top to bottom. You don't know who's gonna kick up at any time. They can all it depends. I really feel like these teams are going to be trading back and forth a lot this year. Seriously.
While we're still on this Bokage, and because Bokage we don't really have a lot to talk about besides everyone's frying.
It was a lot of frying, yeah.
Yeah, while we're still on the subject, just to touch on something. So Dashy, he was obviously frying for OpTic, but on the other side of the spectrum, another AR player for Atlanta FaZe, Arcsities. He's the player that I've been worried about this entire time because he hasn't looked like himself in the last couple of their matches, and he played. I don't think he played good at all.
Man, he got shit on. He got shit on this series for sure.
Yeah, he did, and he hasn't looked good. Although we're not on that match yet, he ended up kicking up in their last match right before the the day ended. Who was it? 100 Thieves? I'm fucking exhausted.
He was shitting in that series.
Yeah, he was shitting in that series. So, good thing about FaZe to look forward to is Arcsities picked it up, and he might carry that into tomorrow.
And I think, and Chris, I don't know how you feel about this, but I think that's kind of partially a matchup thing, right? Like him, it doesn't surprise me that he's gonna like fry against a team like Thieves and not do as well against a team like OpTic, just for a matchup perspective, because this series, I think, was a lot more mixy than that Thieves series was, kind of. And I don't know if that's the full story, but just in general, I mean, obviously he played bad, but I think that's kind of part of it.
Yeah. And I also think just for OpTic, like this win for them is just gonna it's just gonna give them confidence whenever they play FaZe. Like a win like this was big for OpTic, not just for not just because they got the dub, but I just think moving forward, whenever they play FaZe, now that they have a W under their belt against them, they know they could do it over and over again. So it's just gonna change the game a lot, man. We might see a rematch tomorrow, maybe. We'll
Hopefully
see.
in a grand final, that'd be lit.
That would be lit. But let's go into the listening. A lot of people in the chat want us to tune in because the FaZe boys were twisted. BZ was screaming and shit. So let's tune into the listening.
I'm tracking. Back window. I'm dead. Really? I don't know where he's like. Yo, let's get Dashy. I'm one shot. Yeah, you guys take it back on me? There's field. These ones. I'm trying to close the streets. In weak. I'm trying to help him. In weak. I'm 10. I'm 10. Oh my god. Yo, did we flip? Yo, flip. Okay, I got one shot. Yo, he's back to us. He's in. Yo, take your time. Let's go. I'm tricking. Yo, one's push out water. One is tunnel. One is my grandma.
Jesus Christ.
They're like grandmas. They're grandmas now. 2 grandmas, 1 tunnel.
Button.
I'll see my time. Anytime, guys. Netting him. Turn in.
Bottom
grandmas.
A plat shots.
I don't need time. Yo, I'm a shrinking. Stay alive. I don't see bottom grandmas. I'm shrinking again. Oh, bottom grandmas. Yo, one at a time.
Sheesh, it is some select words from.
And then Maven comes in and does what Maven does. Shout out to Joe in the chat as well. We got Merc in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. So show Merc some love. But yeah, what did you guys think about the listening? These guys were cracked, man. These guys were turned.
Yeah, I think Tyler kind of, once he got hot, he started slow. Obviously, he was like double neg, I think.
Yeah.
And then once he started getting that confidence and winning his gunfights, he was wanting to let him know about it. Which I think kind of resulted in that. After they won, he stood up and did like the hand to the ear thing, which he was turned into a meme at the end of the day. But it happens like that sometimes. But I think they were getting hype, and that's something you always want to see.
Yeah, no, good plays out of FaZe to come out and win the first map. And then we'll get into the second map. We get into the S&D. We go into a Berlin S&D. And, man, FaZe's S&D just look really good right now, except for that last map, which we'll get to.
Right.
But especially on Berlin. And we just saw what they did to Los Angeles Thieves on this map as well. Just seems like a map that's really benefiting these guys, honestly.
Yeah, it gives them a lot of room to work, and these guys are all really experienced, smart S&D players.
Yeah.
And although I like the way they play and respawn, and they're super aggressive, and those small mats benefit them, and S&D, I feel like that gives teams a chance to beat them. That's why, like, for example, I don't like them playing Tuscan. I don't think it's a map that at the end of the day will suit them. I'd rather them play maps with a bit more space where they can selectively choose where they want to be aggressive rather than Tuscan, which has very limited strats. And those maps, teams that suck at search can beat you on it because there's only so much you can do.
Well,
right?
I mean, if you want me to be honest with you, I think OpTic should have won this map. I think this was an OpTic troll. I know you guys like to make jokes about when we say FaZe troll, but this was an OpTic troll, this map. OpTic should have won this map. There was a couple rounds. I can even show you that we'll go to the 2-3 round, which there was a retake by FaZe. I mean, this is a round that OpTic needs to put away. And they can go up 4-2 here. It's these post plants, man. It's you know, they seem a lot easier. They seem a lot easier said than done. I just think teams now are starting to figure out how to break these post plant setups. But you could just see OpTic. They work that bomb down off the rip. They do the rush plant, which I love. I like the aggression. I like how they take their time and get the bomb down. Shotzi's obviously kind of stuck in the play. He gets taken out. But this is a round that I think OpTic needs to put away. You know, delay the time. I think Inder was able to find one here and make it a 3v3 situation. He gets the guy off the bomb. It was Simp who makes the play through the left. They gave up the pinch. It was Dashy who turned at the last second. May have got bad timing here, but he gives up the pinch. Simp ends up hitting it, kills him in the back, and then Skunk tries to make the play. He gets taken down, and FaZe just kind of break them down. But that's a round where I feel like OpTic just needs to let the play come to them. Yeah. They have the bomb down. The OpTic trolled this map. There was a couple rounds that they threw away.
I wonder if the comms got hectic because, like, there was no real reason for Dashy to turn there. So I kind of wonder what the comms were like for him to kind of make that play, because you're right, he was holding it the whole time, and then
they trolled again, and then FaZe goes on the offense. They do the same strat OpTic just did, but they work the post plants better, and then OpTic does it again. Dashy gets a first blood, Illy gets another one, bomb goes down. I mean, they can't lose this, bro. Like, OpTic is trolling here. Like, this is just I'm not gonna give FaZe credit here. I'm gonna chalk this up and say OpTic's like tossing this up. In a 4v2 with bomb down, why are they running around? They're
Seth also Seth was just kind of like shimmying around in that building and let a guy basically get through and kill his teammate. He just had to kind of just like pick a spot and just sit there and do nothing. There's just a lot of indecisiveness. I guess that's what it like looks like going on their end.
Bro, and honestly, if you're an OpTic fan, like, you won the series, even like after losing this map, which I honestly think OpTic probably should have won that map. I feel like they trolled it a little bit. So, you know, just a little, maybe some brain farts coming in from the OpTic camp. A team like FaZe took advantage of it. That's what happens when a team trolls. Take advantage of it, and there you go. So just a couple rounds that I think should have went the other way. That's pretty much the only thing that I can take from that Berlin S&D. And then FaZe was able to close it out. They're up 2-0. The crowd is booing. BZ and Simp are having fun with it and shit. Everybody's getting into it, and then OpTic just hit a new gear. They hit a new level, man. OpTic turned up, and this is where I just feel like OpTic just looked like a different team. They just kicked up, and they just completely outplayed FaZe. And it was a really good series. What were you guys' initial thoughts on the Gavitu? The Gavitu control. I skipped over it. Hold on, let me go back.
You skipped the Tuscan.
Yeah, let me go back to the Tuscan. Hold on.
I mean, Tuscan's just the dashy shit.
Yeah,
I think he's done that multiple times where he just fries on that map. He's so good at that map. And the other day,
you said Shotzi?
No, Shotzi. I meant Dashy. I don't know what I said, bro. Dashy. That's been his bread and butter, dude. He's been actually destroying on that map. Did it go down to defenses again? I don't really remember too much.
It was all defensive wins, all five.
I mean, at the end of the day, he had to slay to get there. But once again, it's just like, I'm not saying FaZe is gonna win here. I'm just saying it's really frustrating to just like have a game mode go down to like a side choice, and like the side choice is decided by something that is not directly
not intuitive.
It's not directly influencing you winning the game.
But to talk about how it is now, I just think OpTic did a better job controlling their lives, controlling their life advantage to the point where they were focusing on it, and they got defense last round, and that's on them.
Can you back up real quick right there where Dashy killed Simp flanking? So like I really want to know the head-to-head stat line right here because I feel like Dashy it was when Dashy was top church. I think you went and then Simp's flanks.
Yeah.
Simp died so many times on offense trying to make a play like a solo flank play through B, which is a good play.
Yeah.
And I think he finds a lot of success doing that versus other teams. But dude, no bullshit, in this series or in this map, Dashy picked up on this like every single round. I really want to know what his 1-to-1 KD was against Simp because I feel like he killed him every time he saw him. And Simp obviously had a bad map on this map. I don't know what it was specifically, but yeah, Brucey just picked up the gaps and did not let anybody get through. So
Dashy just locks down B. Like that's literally if you see all his highlights on this map, it's always around like the B site and right around that building that he's in right now. That's like where all his highlights are. He's just so good at like picking it up and making sure that nobody's getting through and reading the pressure every time.
Yeah. So just good plays all around from OpTic. Obviously, Dashy had himself a fucking map. I mean, if we could take a look at the scoreboard, it was all defensive wins. So not too much to break down. OpTic just did a good job holding their lane, staying disciplined, taking advantage of their life advantage, and just taking care of business. I mean, Bruce is 34 and 17 to end it off. That is ridiculous.
It was like a 2.0.
That's ridiculous. So he's 34 in 17. Illy was 31 and 26, which I'm also really happy to see Illy stepping up. I remember I said yesterday on the show that I wanted to see Illy step up and really start frying because I know he can, and here he is showing out.
The most damage,
and this is what starts the reverse sweep. I mean, you need players to step up. It was a little rough map from Simp and Cell. You don't see that often, and that's what happens when two really good teams are going at it. It pretty much going to come down to who's making the less mistakes. What's
would it surprise you if I told you Shotzzy played the worst out of everybody on this team by a pretty significant margin in this series?
No, it wouldn't surprise me because I watched the series.
We watched,
but he definitely.
I'm just saying, like from a thought process going into the series, like that.
No one would think that's gonna happen,
especially versus FaZe. Yeah.
True, but he kicked up though. I mean, he basically. I'm not gonna say he won them the last map, but he was making a shit ton of plays, and I'm pretty sure he kicked it off with an ace, which we'll get there. But let's get into Gavin 2 hard
Bruce's first bloods in general and S&D have been nuts for this OpTic team ever since they kind of improved in general. But yeah, Gavin 2 hard point. I was surprised to see this map, but I feel like honestly FaZe could have really challenged OpTic on pretty much the mixier maps, given the fact that Shotzzy was playing bad. But yeah.
I mean, they probably didn't go into the series thinking they're going to play bad. They probably went in thinking like, oh, we're undefeated on Gavutu. Look at their ARs versus, our AR players. Like, we should shit on them on this map. And then they just ran into Scump.
A little bit of a
Scump was frying.
A little bit of a weird spawn that I wrote down here in the handy dandy notebook.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's right about to happen.
And I wanted to ask you guys. I was gonna say I saw people talking about it, and I want to know what you guys think. Do you think this is do you think this spawn is fine? Do you think it's normal, or do you think that this is a Fugazi spawn? Let's take a look.
I think it's normal. I think given the fact of where Seth is pushed out and where his other two teammates are, there's only one person in Hill and no one really on the left side.
Yeah, they're not blocking it.
As soon as number 2 died, it was like a guaranteed spawn for whoever that was.
So maybe just like a little mess up. I mean, just a lot of people in my chat were saying that was bullshit. And when
it's just the timing on the spawn.
When I watched it back, I noticed that the timings of it, and right here, I mean, we could pause it. I mean, you see FaZe pushing to the right side of the map, and nobody's in the back for OpTic or on their left side. They're not blocking the spawn. Which is, I thought maybe the guy in Hill, like looking at it, will change.
That probably would have played a factor,
but I don't know. It looked weird in the moment, like when it was happening.
It's just the timing. It's just the timing of the deaths. The FaZe players died first, so they were like the next in queue, and that spawn opened up while they were in queue.
OpTic could have blew them. If OpTic get a full 60 there, I mean, it's looking rough for FaZe this map. But FaZe was able to bring it back a little bit.
Does line of sight block in this game though? Like if the guy in the hill was like kind of obviously aware of where his teammates were, if he like backed up to the back of the hill and kind of looked back there, would that have blocked that spawn?
I think it does. I mean, I haven't played in a while. I'm sure it does. Like most games.
I don't know, bro. Squad spawn hardpoint's a little different, bro.
Unless there's a extreme where most spawns are blocked, then probably not, or it probably doesn't. But I think it does.
And then also, I just want to highlight Scump. I mean, Scump, he went the fuck off. I think he was like 33. He was double pause. And he really showed out. This was the map where he ran the automaton, and just went to work. He did such a good job controlling the pace of the game, rotating, playing his positions, playing his life. He was just an absolute nuisance to deal with the whole map. And that's a perfect example right there. Gets a kill. He gets out, pulls out a pistol, plays another play.
That's kind of what I was going to say. To me, it wasn't necessarily his KD. It was the fact that he was literally untradeable.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah.
Like he did not die after he got kills.
No, it was just a really good performance out of Scump, and that's why he's called the king, man. I mean, he was doing really well, really well. I definitely think he led them to a victory here on this Gavitude to force a map number 5. And then on top of that, bro, if Scump is shooting like this, man, and you have Shotzi, Illy, and Dashy around him, like, this team is going to be tough. This team is going to be tough to beat. And they're definitely hitting form now. I feel like we got to give credit to the coaching staff, man. I feel like we need to show some love to Rambo and Mr. Troy Sender. I feel like there's been a night and day difference from day one we saw this team play to right now.
Especially in search.
Well, I just feel like in the past with OpTic, from start to finish, the whole year, they're such a good team, but they always have the same mistakes and they go through the same problems, and it just feels like they never fix them. Where in this game, I feel like within the month, they've already fixed so much. So I just want to show some love to the coaches, because I feel like they don't get enough credit.
just notoriously has 0 ice, bro. I'm sorry, but now, like, I mean, I'm not kidding. It's just,
well, you're talking about in the past. I don't think it was.
Yeah, OpTic as an org, like all their teams they've ever been put together, swear to God, they've had negative ice.
Nah,
right?
That's facts. That's facts, bro. That is facts. From a brand standpoint, bro, that's facts.
Negative ice, trust me. Like, I feel that's the way it's always been. It seems like they start off really well and they just can't close, or they just, in my opinion, they've had negative ice. But anyways,
the only time they would have ice is when Damon was on the team, bro. That was like the only period.
I mean, there's OpTic fans in you that agree with you. I mean, there's a lot of OpTic fans in the chat that agree.
They won 20 championships, but they were dominant in those championships. Like, I'm not saying, bro, if you're a dominant team, you don't need ice. You're just shitting on people.
Yeah,
bro, think about it this way. If they had ice, they would have won way more champs in the Jetpack era than just that IW one. That's a fact.
Okay, yeah, that is a fact, because they had a dominant Jetpack team, and they still only won one world championship.
Best Jetpack team all 3 years.
That is true. See, that's a good way of putting it. But anyways, besides the point, agree with me or not, like, this series was amazing for them. Like the fans, they showed so much resilience, dude. Like, for them to go down 2-0 versus FaZe and reverse sweep, like, that's like, I mean, that quite literally hasn't happened since the last time they've played. But every time they've ever played online or anything like that, most of the time, man, it's just been a blowout for like the FaZe side. And like, this is amazing to see, especially early in the year. Like you said, this is going to carry a lot of weight,
momentum,
especially if they win the tournament. Like I don't see this team slowing down with the way they've been playing.
It's funny too, because when FaZe was up 2-0 this series, I was like, "There's no way." Like, FaZe is up 2-0. Like, I just don't see OpTic coming back against FaZe in a 2-0, and they came back. And then the same thing when LA Thieves was up 2-0 on FaZe. I said, I said to the chat, I said, honestly, I think FaZe is mentally checked out right now. They don't look like themselves. That there's no way they reverse sweep. And then they reverse sweep LA Thieves, and I'm like, dude, I'm just not gonna talk anymore. Like, I'm just gonna stop.
Bro, I know we haven't got there yet, but dude, I feel for Thieves from the stance of they literally probably got to that venue at like 1 today and thought they were gonna play at 8 or 9 or whatever it was, and then not ended up playing till like whatever time they started, like 11. Or I guess 7 for them West or Central Time. But yeah, that was a long ass wait, dude. That sucks.
Really
like, from a scheduling standpoint, that was honestly unacceptable. I doubt we see that, going forward to another major of that being possible.
Yeah. And you can see the scoreboard. I mean, Seth ended up 33-14. Like, Jesus Christ.
And him and Bruce fried in 2 individual maps to get them to the last one.
So just a really good individual performance out of Scump. And then we get into the Tuscan S&D, which there's no analytical mindset to have in here.
This was just a massacre.
This was a massacre.
Bro.
This was a masterclass. They massacred FaZe here. They massacred
bro,
them.
I got a bone to pick with FaZe, bro.
Well,
I don't know
why
what
are they catching so many grenades? What is wrong with them?
That's what I was about to say. I don't know if those motherfuckers aren't wearing flag.
No, they are. I just
dude, the Thieves series, I think every nade that they died to was literally a double nade.
Also, do people not count nades? Like, bro, on this A site, if they don't pre-nade and they got 4 nades, why are you standing in the most obvious head glitch in the game? You're just gonna die. It's so fucking pointless.
Well, first of all, look at this motherfucker, bro. Look at this fucking guy.
He's literally cheating, bro. Dude, he finds all these spots where he can just hover.
But this is dirty. Like,
but it's talent, bro. Like, it's not easy to do what he's doing.
Look at what the guy's looking at on the right.
You remember the Berlin one though, where he was just like hovering?
Yeah, listen,
Oh, yeah.
Shanti is a different breed, bro. He really does be doing shit I don't see anybody else do. Like,
You know what
Someone
this
chat
reminds
said
me
you'd
of,
hover
dude?
from AW.
This reminds me of like, you guys remember like T Martin back in the day would post all these like jump trick spots on every map, bro. I feel like Shotzi
Yeah.
is the person who's going in these maps and finding all those like T Martin did.
yeah, no bullshit. He just
like-
goes in. He goes into a private match and just probably just jumps at random shit and
Yeah.
tries to find random shit. But it's completely throwing everybody off, man. I mean, he plays spots that I don't think people have really seen before. And then of course, Chris, I agree with you. I don't know what it was, and you heard Abizi talking about it in the interview after the LA Thieves match because they were getting naded in the LA Thieves match too. They couldn't escape the grenades, and like I don't know what it was. I don't know if they were.
Dashy's 6-1 right here. And I think he had like 4 first bloods in every round. By the way.
Yeah. His first blood percentage
that's absurd.
was insane. Dashy was popping a lot of first bloods, and I think that was the factor, right? To be honest, in the last map, OpTic was just playing first bloods, and that's one thing that OpTic is doing so much better now. They're using their numbers better. They don't
Less of the tradey shit.
Yeah, they don't do stupid shit. They're just doing less stupid shit. They're just playing together. They're keeping it simple, and they're working first bloods, using their numbers, and doing what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's just really good plays. Everybody wants you to go back. What? You guys want to watch the whole map? It's fucking they blew them out.
Honestly, in general, this is something that I've been seeing way too many teams, like especially on this map. Like, just count nades. It's not
they
that
wanted you to
hard.
go back to
Stop
Shots'
sitting in the most
reaction.
obvious positions and just expecting like you're not gonna get naded.
People, because when he did he stand up after he got 3 kills or something that first round? Is that what they want to see? I think he stands up mid round after he pops 3 kills, and we'll check it out. Where the heck was it?
I assume it was the first round when he got like, yeah.
Oh, right there. Is that what they're talking about? Right there when he's getting hyped in the middle of the fucking round?
Oh
yeah.
my god.
You know, he wasn't even, bro, he took his eyes off the monitor and looked at the fans and started screaming in the middle of the round. Like, honestly, he was feeling himself, man. He was feeling it. It's a 4v1. The bomb's down. Like, they're not going to lose it. I'm pretty sure or 3v1, excuse me. He was pretty confident they were going to win that round. So just good
People the
plays.
killer, dude. He was like, I'm not even playing.
Dude, and
I'm just talking shit.
And huge shout out to the green wall, man, in the crowd. I think the energy from the crowd definitely helped these guys. I definitely think they feed off of that. You know, they feed off that shit. So it was nice to see the crowd. It's their major. It's the OpTic major. So
We
it's
need
nice
to see that happen, bro. That's never happened. Someone get like a 3-piece off the break of like an S&D round, just drop their controller headset, go up on the stage and start yelling at the crowd while they're in a 4v1.
Sloss, that's a
You know
sloss
you're
move.
not gonna.
Yeah.
No, I know, but you know you're not gonna lose the round. Like you might as well get up, get hype, start talking to the crowd, like fully drop your controller.
Yeah, I mean that's what Killer used to do. Remember, I'm not even playing. I'm not even. Chris knows a lot about
I'm literally
that.
just talking shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but y'all are up like 230 to like 10 in a hard
Yeah,
point.
true.
versus
This
some
is the first
bums.
round in S&D. This guy just popped the 3-piece and just said,
It's
forget
versus
it.
envy, bro.
Then he
Like,
gets the ace. He yells at the crowd. Then gets the ace. Like it's a different breed, bro. Good plays. And guys, I don't want to sit here and watch every round, but I mean, again, clinical
It
from
was just clinical, yeah.
Really, really good first blood right there from Dashy. I mean, that was really nice shots. Just clinical, man. OpTic they got first blood like pretty much every round, and they were able to use their numbers.
It was actually every single
This
round.
is what
yeah.
I'm talking about, though. OpTic get the first blood, and look, they're buddied up. Everybody's together. Every lane is covered, and they do something together. They don't do anything stupid. Nobody solo chows. Nobody does anything dumb. They work together, and they don't rush anything. They have
Yep, they're
35
taking their
seconds.
sweet-ass
They're
time.
taking their time. They're holding their lanes, and they're trying to get information. And it just seems like there's less panic going on.
They did something similar on a 3v2 this map where they had a 3v2. All 3 of them were by a bomb, but they just waited. They did not want to plant right away. They didn't want. I think it was versus Simp and Alec.
Yeah.
They didn't want to give them a chance to get a kill, so they just literally let the clock dwindle and just waited for a moment to where they could trade out effectively.
Yeah. And then not that it matters at all. Like FaZe was gonna lose this map regardless. They were getting absolutely smoked. But this
They did
last
not have
round,
this diffuse, bro.
we were talking about it in the TeamSpeak. Is this 7.2 diffuse?
That's probably not the rules. Like the rules are probably 7.5, but I think there was another game where it was like the animation was so fast that it like started counting the diffuse time before you got a meter, like before you got the bar meter.
This game's meter animation is like instantaneous when you get on the bomb.
Bro, they were going crazy in there. There's smoke and fucking people going nuts. And fucking
Bro, OpTic didn't even think they had it. They literally were like, "Oh, dude, I didn't get it. Like, I didn't know why I picked it up in time."
I'm pretty sure Seth said you got it.
Nah, bro.
Nah, it looked like, dude.
You
It looked
literally
like,
saw it on like if you freeze
nah, you
frame
can read.
it.
Nah,
he
you
hadn't
can
even
read
grabbed
Seth's
the bomb
lips,
yet.
bro. You can read Seth's lips. Look, he
Brucey
says
definitely didn't think they had it.
Seth was saying you
Look,
got
Bruce
it.
is
You
like,
got
God
it.
damn it. He sat back like, God damn it. We lost that
Oh
round.
yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. So I'm pretty sure that Seth knew that they got that. I'm pretty sure he knew that they got that. I could be wrong, but good games. OpTic, Texas they look great, man. They look really good, and so do FaZe. Honestly, it was a really good series. It went all the way down to the wire. Look at Mike; he just looked so confused when he walked on stage.
Yeah, he was like, wait, I own OpTic now. I'm not going to the other side.
Bro, it's cool. It's cool to see. It's cool to see Mike over there with the green wall now. But yeah, congratulations to OpTic, and maybe we'll see a rematch tomorrow. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's going on and what we're gonna see tomorrow. Let's get into the next series. They had the whole OpTic team on stage for an interview. We're not going to tune into the interviews today, but if you guys want to go back and check it out, go check it out. It's been a really long day, guys. So we're gonna close out these last two series. Let's get into the Toronto Ultra and Boston Breach series. This one was a blender, man. This was a revenge tour for Mr. Anthony Zanny, aka Tony. What do you guys think?
I don't know, man. I like Ultra literally cannot win a hardpoint right now. And yeah, like kind of what we talked about with Chris, they're close, but bro, they literally, I don't know what's happening, but they cannot win one. Like that's literally what it feels like.
Yeah.
Obviously Zinni was absolutely frying. It's another Gavitu or Gavutu, whatever you want to call it, out of Toronto, which is kind of surprising to me. I think they've played that in all series so far, so I'd probably like them to chalk that one up, at least for this event. But yeah, man, I don't know.
They're having a hard time
his way in these hard points.
They're having a hard time holding hills, Pat. Toronto, I don't know what it is. It just seems like they can't hold, and
they get broken real easy.
Yeah, they get broken so easily, and they did well. Do you guys want to tune in at all to listen? I said we just go by the listen-ins tonight, but if you guys want to tune in, just let me know. But Tony, it was the Tony show in the hard points. Both the first hard point and the fourth hard point. Or the fourth map, the second hard point. He turned up. Seriously. Like Zinni, guys, was having an absolute day. He was shitting on his old team. He was shitting on him. And it just Toronto, a 2-3-5 team.
Can we talk about that? They're top 4 right now, and they haven't won a single hard point.
That's so weird.
That's absurd, bro. That's actually absurd. Like, it'd be one thing to be like 1-5 or whatever. They legit are looking like NYSL and hard points, haven't won a single one, and yet they're top 4. That's crazy.
And this is where Tony goes
to talk about how good this team
crazy.
actually is.
You can see Tony just really kicking up here.
If they start closing out HPs, they're just gonna look as scary as they did last year.
Yeah, I mean, I got Chris. I got him. 2022 world champs. But look, right now we're talking about Zinni. I know he's in the chat right now.
Bro.
It was the same. It was the same thing as the Seth thing. It was just like he was untradeable. Every kill he got, he stayed alive. And then ended up getting another kill. So,
oh, dude, it was clinical for me.
This series, man.
It was clinical, bro.
They did get dropped from this team.
I know we aren't going into listen, but no bullshit. It sounded like in their listening they were all out of breath. Like they were getting hyped, but
We'll listen. Let's listen to the last 10 seconds when Zinni's frying because they got hyped. Let's listen.
Bro, it listened like they were in a marathon.
Looking for no, Toby. They're protect that. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Nice. I'm right now.
Okay. I got 2. Another take. Wait,
Take a breath. You're shitting on them.
One shot in the door. Orange steps. One shot.
hitting
One shot, Toby.
I needed it.
Bro.
Oh my god.
Bro, what, Tony? What the fuck kind of papaya were you smoking?
Bro, he didn't breathe the whole map. No bullshit. He was holding his breath the whole map.
Bro, he was fucking cracked, bro. Cracked. Tony, I like that though. I like it. I feel like that energy is what pushed him to come back and win this map. They turned up. Tony's fucking double pause. The rest of the team is doing what they got to do, and they got the comeback, man. So just a really good composure out of Boston Breach to come out and win the first map. Good plays out of them. Let's get into the second map. Tony, good shit, bro. I see you in the chat. Really good job, man. That first map, you were frying, bro. You brought your team back into that one individually, bro. That was you, all you, man. Then we get into the S&D. We get into a Berlin S&D. It was a hot start from Boston, but then Toronto, they start bringing it back. Boston, they go up 3-1. Just fundamentals, getting the bombs down, working setups, do what they got to do. Toronto started to adapt a little bit. But then things get really, really interesting. It was a few clutches coming in from the in the 3-5 round that I want to pull up. But what were your guys' initial thoughts with the S&D, the Berlin S&D, if you have any?
I thought honestly when Boston won that first map and they went up in the S&D, I thought it was over. I thought they were about to start steamrolling Toronto.
So right here, Toronto's up 5-3, Chris, and this is where Boston start to clutch up. So it's a 3v3 situation. Bomb goes down. It begins. It's a 2v3 now because now Boston they find themselves with a disadvantage here. Nero makes a play from behind, and then Tony ends up collapsing on this site. They end up pinching this site out. They use their tacks. Just a really big plays coming out of Boston to keep themselves into this one. To clutch that 2v3 was just a really big play out of them. And then they get into the next round, the 4-5 round, and Boston do it again. They clutch up again. They clutch up the round. It was once again. It was Tony again and TJ, and it was Cammy who went around and tried to late flank him. I thought this one was all over right here when Toronto planted and they kind of had this set up, but they sniffed them out. I think Cammy made a little misplay here. I would have liked to see Cammy get top fire like way sooner.
Yeah, I don't know why he was so far back.
It just took so long for him to get to the spot, and then once he got to the spot, it was just too late. The bomb was already defused. He didn't even get there in time. That you could tell what they were trying to do. So for those of you who don't know, and Asim didn't even notice, and I was mind blown. But if you plant for the front of that B bomb site right there, or the back side of it, you know how everybody plants for back warehouse. If you plant for fire, you can open up the windows, and there's a little pre-fire spot where you can kill them off the bomb from top fire. So if some of you guys back home are a rank player, wagers,
in that spot to begin with, right? Not been in the back, because he could have held the same thing from that top fire angle.
Yeah, he should have been up there. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why.
I'm also more concerned how Jamie even died in the site. Like, did he just turn his back or something? Like, he should have just been pre-aiming. Like, if he was going to commit to being in the bomb site, he should just literally sat in the bomb site pre-aiming his like front.
Yeah, it was an interesting play. And then we get into the round 11. Boston bring it all the way back. And I'm like, hey, Boston can do this. You know, if they go up 2-0, it's a huge play. Things get a little scary here. It's a 2v2 situation. Nero and TJ versus Insight and Bance, but Insight has a sniper in his hands. Bance is able to find one on the site, but TJ trades. It makes it a 1v1. Insight gets the hit marker. And check this out. TJ, he's too thick. His butt cheeks are hanging out. And Insight has to focus up and line up this shot because all he can see is that left cheek. That's all he can see is that little left cheek right there. And Insight holding his breath.
That's almost a blunder by Toronto just by the spot they planted in.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You know he was holding his breath for that one when he was hitting that shot. So just
thick.
Yeah, really good plays out of fucking Insight. And then we get into the fucking control where Toronto just come out on Gavitu control and storm through that first offense, which again is just like when teams are winning offenses on control that quickly, they're usually winning maps. It was just a good play from Toronto to come out, win the offense. They worked 2 ticks on the 8 point, and I just think it's that constant pressure over towards that B side. It is Gavitu control, but over towards that B side, constantly applying pressure and trying to drain down those lives. It's just a good play from Toronto. I like the aggression from them. Kleenex, you know him. Tony had a rough map. I know Tony's sitting here telling me to turn it off, but we got to talk about it, Tony. Okay, Toronto Ultra. They showed out. They're doing that shit again, man, where they're on both points at the same time. They're on the 8 point. They're on the B point. It's constant pressure. They're constantly having to Boston Breach guess on or talk on which point they want to go to. That's what you want to do. You want to get the opposing team on their toes and try and get them to decide where they got to go and try and get them flustered and discombobulating. If that even is a fucking word. I just made up a fucking word. But you know what I mean, Chris. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly.
You want to spread them out. You want to spread them out. You want to make them have to make a decision. And I think Toronto just do a good job putting Boston on their heels,
Yeah, I honestly thought Boston had a chance at coming back and like winning this game. There was a play where I think Nero and like Cap both like pinched through like their green side of the map and they were coming up behind B, and like I think Nero like fucked up and didn't get a kill, and then Cap I think was communicating to go A and they didn't go A. It was like towards the end of the game, and they ended up not getting on A, not getting B, and that ultimately led to them like losing the entire map. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm pretty sure this was the series, right?
Yeah. Are you talking about right here so Toronto go back on a defense and they were able to close it out here? So were you talking about the last round?
Was it the last round? It might have been.
I don't know. I'm not sure. But I think Toronto, like, once you win that first offense and then you go onto the defense and go up 2-0, when you go back into the offense, the way Control is played right now is Toronto's not focused on winning that offense. They're focused on taking their time, getting kills, and just making sure that worst comes to worst. If they don't close out in the next defense, they have defense going into an overtime because, you know, there's no way you're choking 2 Ds back-to-back, in my personal opinion.
Is it confirmed that that's changing as soon as we get back to regular matches?
Changing. Yeah, that's changing.
Okay.
That's definitely changing. It's already done. They're just playing on the old patch right now, if I remember correctly.
There's only 2 maps in Control, and the rules are fugazi. Like, honestly, it's not an excuse to any team that loses these controls, but like it's so heartbreaking and going into a major tournament playing a butchered game mode that is deciding like whether you're out of the tournament or not. To be honest, it's I would be so angry.
Yeah, no, me too. I would definitely be pissed off too. But right here, you can see Toronto just able to close it out. TJ was able to find himself onto that point. The nades were coming in. Toronto just applied some pressure, and it just came down to lives. I thought right here maybe Boston could have been able to do something. Nero gets a little crazy here. It's 6-4 life advantage. There's 30 seconds left on the clock. If you have one more push, you want to wait for each other. You want to do something together. You don't want to make any solo chows do anything stupid. You still have 30 seconds. Hey, you get 2 or 3 dead, and Toronto's out of lives too. So this was definitely a winnable round for Boston, but Toronto has the upper hand. They had the positioning. They're on defense. They're watching the crosses, and Nero, he gets a little too aggressive there, in my opinion. I don't think he should have pushed yet. He should have waited. But anyway, he ended up falling, and then Toronto hold their lanes, and that's it. Goes the lives. Game over. Bada bang, bada boom. Good job by Toronto. And then we get into the hard point once again. Oops, I skipped too far. We get into the Berlin hard point, and this again was the Tony show. Tony absolutely kicked up, and again the same struggles from Toronto. They can't hold hills. I even have it in the notebook. I put it in my notes. I said Toronto can't hold a hill. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is with these guys. I don't know if they're just losing fights. They're not getting kills. Sometimes it feels like they're not even picking up the right lanes, which is a weird thing because you would think Toronto, with the way they come and how organized and their team cam, you would think that some of these mistakes aren't happening. But they're happening a lot. So you guys think Toronto can turn it around in hardpoint? I mean, I definitely think they can.
Definitely. But... yeah, they were really good at it last year. I know it's a completely different game, but I think Toronto just likes to go rogue a little too much. I think they're trusting the squad spawn system a little too much.
You think so?
Yeah, they're getting punished for it. Yeah, they like to. I mean, bro, Toronto last year, like, come on, Cammy was one of the most aggressive players. Like Kleenex, super aggressive. Like these guys love to chow. So I think it's kind of biting them in the ass right now.
And I think that's something they're talking about, right? Like before they go to bed tonight, before they play tomorrow, they're definitely talking about kind of just playing more stationary in their setups and not chowing as much.
Yeah.
So hopefully we see them kind of put that into effect in their matches tomorrow. Who do they play, by the way?
DMW, Thieves. Maybe?
They play FaZe, right?
Not Thieves, FaZe. Sorry,
and then
Jesus, yeah, Thieves
of...
still in. Thieves isn't in anymore.
Yeah, so they're gonna have a grueler tomorrow to get back to the to make it to the finals, but yeah, well, they're gonna have to be better at hardpoint.
Dude, I call it the MW effect. I feel like a lot of people do this: is they'll get a kill and they'll instantly try to get cracked when like they should get the kill and then just keep pulling their pre-aim and wait for the guy that's like coming in a trade. Like people are, it's I call it the MW effect, and people just don't
They're trying to be the initiators and they don't have to, right?
Yeah, just get your kill, hold your pre-aim.
And then we get into the Tuscan S&D, which there's some good plays being made here from Boston early on. Specifically in this 1-2 round, I really like the retake from them. So you can see Toronto, they get that A bomb down. A typical rush plant A on Tuscan, right? We see it a lot. They get the bomb down. Tony works mid-map. I just like how aggressive Boston was on chasing these players down. They didn't waste any time. Sometimes you see teams taking their good-ass time, bro. They like they have all the time in the fucking world, and it blows my mind. I'm like, what are you doing? Boston, they didn't do that. They had their go buttons down. They had those gas pedals down, and they searched for those kills. So just a really good retake out of them, but they let it get away from them, man. They go up 3-1, and it's Toronto who are able to retake back on this defense. Right here, when you're Boston, you're up 3-1, and you go back on the favorable side on offense, this is such a big round. This is huge. And then right here, I just think once they get that bomb down, it was Toronto that was able to work a retake just like Boston did to them. I'm curious to see what you guys think on kind of what might have went wrong here. You can see Cap still inside, gets a snipe onto Tony. I think Tony should get the fuck out of there. Seriously, you see number 6, you see Tony, how he's backing up. Yeah. I thought Tony was going to go all the way back to the fountain and just watch pinch and watch flank and watch mid alley and shit. But then he like double backs. You can see he double backs. He goes back to top fire. He chows and inside picks his head off with the snipe. Insight was able to snipe his ass, and then Capsule's in the middle of the map. He gets one,
Where
but
does
he gets
Capsule get traded from?
he gets traded. He was
does
mid map
the
in a
dude
corner.
jump out of top church?
Yeah,
Is that
one
who
was low
trades him?
church and one was
Right.
yeah, one jumped out of top.
So if Zinni didn't get picked, right? Capsule still shot, then Zinni would have had that guy top church, so it would have played out. So yeah, I think you're right. I think if Zinni doesn't get picked there, they probably win that round.
I just
I mean,
think
I
once
think Zinni was going to help Cap because Cap was under
Yeah,
the window.
that's what it was.
isolated,
That's what it
so
was.
he
Yeah,
I
but
think-
they didn't know he was
selfless.
there, did they?
I mean, but bro, I'm gonna be honest. If you're a pro player and you don't check to see if people are in that most generic corner when you're coming out of church, like you're just faded.
yeah, but
Like,
right,
it's the
but
most basic
But they're
shit.
not. They're not going to jump out and look at it. So all he would have to necessarily watch would be that bottom church door.
But right here, I
for
feel
him.
like if Tony's backing up, like they have to be on the same page. Like if Tony's backing up, Capsule can get out of here. I mean, he can dip out. He can slide to the truck
Yeah.
and dip the fuck out of
I
there.
mean, the
Just
only
have-
thing that killed him was the guy that jumped out of top church.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
yeah, I agree. I think Zinni could have played it way safer and just held for him.
It was just a momentum swing. I mean, those were the clutch. Those were the rounds. And then Toronto goes back on the offense on the favorable side. Boston tries to work a pinch. The trades come in and the bomb goes down. And Toronto ties it up at 3. And then after this, it was the Toronto show. If I remember correctly, Toronto just kind of kicked up. They just kicked up and they didn't have an answer for Boston, or Boston didn't have an answer for them. But I definitely think Toronto has been showing out in the S&Ds. They're very good at this game mode.
They haven't lost one.
Yeah, they haven't lost one. And
It's funny, bro, because like they don't have the ice in hardpoint, right? They're losing all these games with like 230, 200 points, but they have the ultra ice in S&D. So hopefully they can share some with their hardpoint tomorrow.
Yeah, no, good plays out of Toronto. Boston bring it back. They win the offense. They bring it back to 5-4. But it was Toronto Ultra who goes back on that offense, and they got streaks as well. So once they got the B-bomb planted, you had Insight, I think it was, who got the streaks, who was just kind of playing off his streak. He was able to get a kill, get the streak, and then kind of play his life. I was a little worried that maybe the bomb was going to get defused here when the streak was in the air, but it came down in time.
Can you go back? I don't know if it was just like a glitch, but it looked like Zinni picked it up and then dropped it right after he picked it up and then stuck it again. Was that okay? No, it wasn't. Okay. So it was just
Maybe. I don't think he would have got it regardless, even if he stuck it.
It was pretty close, bro.
It was close, but I don't think I'm pretty sure the streak comes down in less than 7 seconds. Like it comes down in like 3 or 4. Like he would have been fine.
It was
a
the
good
only
play.
play he could have made, though. Yeah.
Good play from Toronto. Toronto end up winning. They go on to the next series, and you can see, or they go on to Sunday, and you can see the frustrations coming in from Boston. I know it was a revenge tour for Tony, but it just wasn't enough. But a really good showing out of Boston this week, and they end up getting top 6. So let's show Boston some love. Let's get a Boston reach in the chat for the one time. Take a look at the final scoreboard. Insight 12-3 to finish off this series. Unbelievable plays coming out of Insight. Time and time again, you see this guy doing this same shit. So really good plays out of him. And then we get into the Atlanta FaZe versus the Los Angeles Thieves. We got a Tuscan for the first 3 maps. Hardpoint S&D control. And then we end with a Gavin 2 hardpoint and a Berlin S&D. Initial thoughts on the veto before we get into this last series.
I mean, I think FaZe kind of had nothing to lose here picking this Gavitu. And I mean, we talked about it. Like, I don't think any team should, but the opposite would be playing them on, I'm guessing, Berlin, which FaZe already doesn't like. And FaZe usually bans anyway. So yeah, it didn't matter that much to me in this particular series. But the one thing that I do say is like, this Tuscan was FaZe's pick, obviously. And dude, Simp and Abizi were nowhere to be found this whole map.
Yeah, they were getting fried
Like,
this map.
Yeah, like this whole map, they were just getting in. They were being put in a blender.
They were, yeah, and it wasn't even this map. There was another map too where that they were struggling a bit. I think they're going through. This was an RCD show. This series, RCD's kicked up. And listen, I want to show some love to RCD's because sometimes I feel like he goes under the what's the word I'm looking for? Under the radar.
radar?
So, yeah, under the radar sometimes. Like this guy RCD can play, bro. This guy's the backbone for these guys. Like
Here's
when
the funny
Abizi
thing.
and Simp are getting shit on, he's the one stepping up. Look at this guy. It's double pause.
Here's the funny thing: Bruce versus Arcides. Obviously, Bruce had his way in that series, but Arcides versus Octane in this series, Arcides was by far and away the best performer. So Arcides ended up going 95 and 80 plus 15, and then Octane had only 61 total kills. He went 61 and 77. He only had 7,500 damage. Everyone else on his team was in 10K. Almost everybody on FaZe was in 10K. So I think this was kind of just like an AR mismatch almost, which we don't really see, happen that much when you talk about Octane. But yeah, I mean, Brucey had RC's number, and then RC's came right back and had Octane's number. So that was interesting to see for me, and kind of to see that how bad of a series Octane really had.
Yeah.
And And obviously they lost so close, but
You know who I love on this LA Thieves team? Draza, bro. Draza is godlike.
Yes,
He be
sir.
moving different. And I know you like that, Chris. Bro,
boy.
honestly, the whole team, the Envoy, Draza, Kenny, and even Sam. Sam might have struggled, but I think Sam, he's been doing his thing. I mean, I feel like it's his play style. Like, Sam's just kind of looking over these guys, so maybe he might not be involved sometimes. Maybe that's why his damage is kind of low. But that could be hurting them. You know, it could definitely be hurting them. I don't really
think
know.
It's going to be a consistent problem for them,
No,
right? I mean,
Sam's really good at this
Sam
game.
struggling is going to be like.
I mean, he fried this map, Pat. He
one-off.
fried this map. He went off this map.
What did he end up going? Because it's actually crazy.
He
Bro,
went
think about
28 and 23 this map.
Think about this. Alec
24.
had 95 kills in this series, and Sam had 31 or 61. That's a difference of 34 kills in a series. Like, that's a whole map. That's basically saying that like Octane just didn't play a whole map in comparison to our series, which is kind of absurd.
I also think it's just a game, man. This is a hard game to be like
I mean,
a
AR.
superstar with an AR and
Yeah,
a
it's
lot
hard.
of
Talk about
time.
that.
Besides in like what, like sometimes I think in like control, that's like your best bet at being like consistent with an AR, just because it's the style of the game mode, right? You're
Well, look at
jamming, holding
Slasher,
stuff.
look at Clay.
Yeah.
All these typical main ARs are really struggling on this game, and
Yeah.
and also like the M4. Or not, sorry, the M4. The automaton isn't really a normal AR with how people play with it and like the time to kill and how you're still being mixy with it. Like last year they had the Krig, right? Like that's a traditional main AR gun. The auto isn't like that at all. So I mean, a ton of main ARs are struggling this year.
Like I'm an AR player, right? And speaking of, I mean, I don't like Vanguard in general, but like I hated the like automaton. Like back when it was starting to figure out what the meta was with the ARs, I was an STG kind of guy. I liked it way more. The auto was just
I mean,
not
it depends on it.
STG nerf or
Well,
buff.
I mean, it depends
Yeah.
on the map, though. I mean, I love the automaton on Gav too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love running that shit on Gav
I mean, yeah,
too.
of course. I'm just saying in general. It's
Just from like a style though, like I would
Yeah.
prefer to see that main AR be that STG. Obviously, it would need a buff and auto would need a nerf, but
Yeah.
kind of that more traditional like L trigger setup-y style versus
yeah.
What was
the auto
Octane
is-
looking at right there? Did his controller die?
it had to have. He was staring at a
Oh
wall, bro.
no! He was. I think he was looking at the back right corner, like the back well, like the deep corner. I think he was checking it. I thought for a second it looked like he was looking at a wall for a second, but I think he was just checking that back corner. The good retake here. I wanted to highlight this round because this was a round where I think FaZe probably could have won this map. They were up 4-2 to get the bomb down, and LA Thieves just do a really good job just fucking retaking. It was Kenny who made the fucking play. Kenny gets onto that bomb site. I think does Kenny beam somebody? Yeah, he fucking beams a guy top church. And then takes care of business
I
right
know
there.
there's a
So just
limited
good
map
shots.
pool, but I was just
Good
touching on
play.
this. I don't want to see FaZe. I don't like seeing FaZe play this map. It's just a map that has very, very, very limited strategic possibilities.
FaZe need to not get naded. I mean, bro, against
that too.
against LA Thieves and OpTic, why are they catching nades everywhere? They're getting blooded by nades literally almost every round. It was insane. I'm serious. Like, I'm not sugarcoating it. Like, they got naded so much, and I don't know how. Like, don't they have fortified on? Like, I don't
They're
understand
getting
that.
double nated.
Yeah, they're getting double. And it just goes to show that these teams are prepared, man. Like OpTic and LA Thieves, they got nade spots, man. They got
That's the
lineups.
thing, bro. Like, there's only so many places you could be on Tuscan.
Yeah.
Like, you're
no,
gonna
it's-
get naded.
yeah.
That's why I was just talking about it before, but I don't want.
You gotta be careful, man. You gotta be
Keep dragging
careful.
it on, but you get the point.
Nah, they definitely gotta be careful with those grenades because it was look, boom, 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 bada bang, bada boom, 2 done. Another grenades come in, and then look 4v2 right off the rip, 30 seconds in.
This happened round 11 too. And
Then round 11. Look,
Or the game 2. I meant.
It's not ideal, man. Not ideal.
definitely not ideal. But look, at least Cell got a nade kill right there. Boom. But yeah, this ends up going round 11, it goes end up round 11, and they get pegged with another grenade. If I
The
remember.
Envoy 2-piece again.
Yeah, another 2-piece grenade coming out of Envoy. He got a couple 2-pieces with those grenades. Good grenades. Good. Honestly, it's good. It's good plays by LA Thieves. They're coordinating their tacticals and they're making use of what they have. So good plays by them. Envoy off the rip makes it a 4v2 situation around 11. You can't complain. Take a look at the scoreboard. You can see Simp, Cell, RC, everybody positive except for Abizi. But at the end of the day, it was Envoy and Kenny with 9 bombs, 6 kills out of Draza, 3 for 7 out of Octane. Struggle a little bit, but they got the job done. That's all that matters. And then we get into the Gavitu. Actually, I got wrong side. I gotta go back. I'm gonna go back to the Tuscan control. Then we go back. We'll get over to the Tuscan control. And
comeback.
this is where FaZe just takes the momentum. This is where FaZe takes the momentum from Thieves. Which we've seen OpTic do to FaZe. OpTic did it to FaZe, and I think FaZe did it right, but they learned from OpTic. They wrote some notes down from OpTic. Simp had a really good map. He was making plays, and I think that's kind of what started it. The subs started to heat up. Simp started to heat up, BZ started to heat up, and when these guys are heating up, they're a lot harder to play against. I think the first hard point, they were struggling, and when they're struggling, it's not going to be good for them. I think that's why Arcedes was trying to put the team on his back, but it just wasn't enough. So I definitely think those sub players, right, they're impactful on the map. When your sub players are struggling, I mean, you can feel that presence. I mean, would you guys agree? I feel like the sub players are like the most important.
Subs are your most impactful players,
100%. Like they're the most important, most impactful. So when they were struggling in the first hard point, I think it was hurting them. But it was this offense win that really set them apart. The defenses come in, but FaZe was able to take that offense, which is kind of what started it. And again, just working kills and working sites. They got the B point, which I don't know how they even got this B point. They go away, they all die, but again, FaZe, they're super quick, they're super decisive, they get right to that B point. They get a couple stacks on the hill, but did they chalk? Like, I'm confused what they did here. Like, were they stunned? I guess they were just all stun nated. So if you see here, this is really good tactical usage out of FaZe here when they're on this B point. I'm pretty sure they slow down their push heavy with their attacks here. See the nades and the stuns coming in? And it slows down LA Thieves so much to the point where the stack from FaZe, they got it.
Yeah,
they got the point.
They had the good reads with those throwables.
Just really good plays with their attacks. And then after that, I mean, they just get the spawns. They work the kills A side. It's so easy to get the 8 point. We saw it once. We saw it once where a team held the 8 point. I think it was LA Thieves that held A.
Yeah, they have to push all the way through.
Yeah, you got to push. And the only way you do that is if you get a shit ton of kills. And it's really hard to do that. So, FaZe, they take advantage. Once they get the B point, they win the offense. And that pretty much solidifies the control. So good plays. Take a look at the scoreboard. They go back on the defense. They win the map.
Well, can you believe this LA Thieves teams was picking Tuscan Control? Can you believe that? They were a higher seeded team early in this tournament and picking this map. That blows my mind.
Yeah. Look at Sam's interactions. Super low compared to everybody.
Yeah,
so weird.
that's the one thing I said when I tweeted Cap. You got Octane and you're playing this map. Why?
Yeah. I wonder, did he tell you why?
No, he just said we're 2-0 against Toronto. Bro, no bullshit. I actually think, because I do think Thieves is a good matchup for London, right?
Yeah.
Just how they play. I think we could easily see Thieves in a winter final right now if Cap would have picked Gavutu Control instead of Tuscan against Toronto. No bullshit. No bullshit. I'm just saying that. I think they would have 3-1'd them. They would have won all respawns.
100%.
I think they would have beat London just because of a matchup and veto process. And yeah, they'd be playing OpTic tomorrow. That's just what I'm saying.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest. This is just from like if I was a coach type of thing. Unless I have a game mode or at least in the control with there being 2 maps, unless one of the maps I'm just extremely bad at, I am not taking map count or scrim count into my map pick ever. Why? Because one, there's 2 maps, so like it's so easy to kind of identify a team's weakness or a team's best because it's one or the fucking other, right? But at the same time is when we're talking about how defense is the most reliant thing on winning a control, who gives a fuck about the scrim count? Like just get you see what I'm saying? It's a toss up either way.
Yeah, like, I would be picking what map I think my team is gonna slay better on, which is fucking their best map.
Yeah. You don't let them pick their best fucking map out of the 2. You don't let them pick the one that they would prefer just because of your map count in it.
Yeah.
Just pick the one that is going to make them less comfortable on, and then just play the damn game because the fucking game mode is terrible right now.
Yeah. No, 100%. And then this is going into the Gavitu hardpoint. I mean, FaZe were able to get a map on the board. They're trying to work the reverse sweep back. They go into the Gavitu hardpoint. It really didn't. There was no lead switch. I mean, it was going very back and forth. They were trading hard points. Just that's what good teams do until the end of this game. We go to the second rotation. We go to that P4, that P3 hill, and FaZe just locked down some good time. They built a lead, and then they just break LA Thieves on the P4 and pin them so bad to the fact where I think this was the best spawn trap we've seen so far.
It just got to a point where FaZe just wasn't losing 1v1s. Like, that's literally what this hill felt like.
And this is why these kills, I'm going to pause it right here off rotation. Number 5 here, it's Envoy, and number 7, Draza. Them being pushed out here, these initial gunfights off the rip are so fucking important. You win that first wave of kills off the rip. They're spawning deep. You're locking down time, and you can push out, and you won't get naded, this and that. They end up dying. They get picked out by FaZe, so just good plays out of FaZe to kind of sniff them out. And then after that, the FaZe just use their tags to get them out of the hill, because now LA Thieves, they're turtled. They can't really go anywhere. FaZe use their tags, and they jump onto this hill, and they take care of all these guys. They swarm on in, and then it was a blood fest here. Look at this. The kill feed was all red for the rest of this game. The rest of this game, LA Thieves couldn't get out of this. This is brutal right here. I was, when we were watching this in the watch party, I was sitting there. I was like, listen, man, if I'm LA Thieves and I'm in this, I'm losing full. You just get that back corner spawn, and I haven't seen people hold it down like this. Like this was crazy. But yeah, good plays out of FaZe. And let's go over to the last map. They close it out.
Last map, baby.
They end up winning, let's see, 35-12 from Celium. So just want to highlight that. Really good plays out of him. He
was fine.
He really kicked up.
He's still kind of, I mean, we talk about like teams having that rock. I feel like Celium thus far this year has been FaZe's rock, right? Like Simp and Abizi will have their moments where they are going off, but they'll also have their moments when they're doing bad. Cel has just been consistent as fuck. Like this series, he went like plus 26. And I know he has like some of their best statistics overall, but he has just been unbelievably consistent for this team in this game. Like he's always been good, obviously, but this game in particular, he has just been so consistent.
Yeah, no, he's been really, really good for them. It's just MC doing what he does. You guys an animal, and then we get into the last map, right?
The Sim show, bro.
The Sim show, the FaZe show, whatever you want to call it. What OpTic did to FaZe, FaZe did the Thieves. No bullshit. The same thing. They reverse sweep, and they smoke them on the last map where it wasn't even close. The last map wasn't even playable, or it wasn't even watchable. It was just they blew right through him. Nice shot here by Simp, by the way.
This time though, like think about it. You're on stage. You waited 12 hours to play. You're in the middle of getting reverse swept. Like your last map. They got to be going through it, bro.
Yeah, you can sit here and analyze this any way you want, but the second half of the series, FaZe were just shitting on them.
Yeah, they were just shitting on them. It was the whole momentum switch. It's the same thing OpTic did, you know? It's the whole momentum.
Thieves just kind of looked out of it and stuff like that.
They looked defeated.
They looked defeated, yeah.
Isn't that crazy, though?
It happened to FaZe. Same thing happened to FaZe.
Bro, it's kind of crazy.
Series.
It's kind of crazy how much confidence and momentum like changes a team, you know? It really is good. Like I noticed it a lot. Would you guys agree with me on that, or do you think I'm dragging it?
I think it's more so now in this era than it ever has been. I would say I think you notice it more.
Yeah.
Where when players are playing confident, like just the I guess the difference, right, in their play style is just drastic to me. So I agree with you fully.
And you can literally see it in their it's like the eye test, bro. You can literally see it in their gameplay.
Yeah. And listen, man, you know, I think FaZe, they're gonna come out swinging tomorrow, bro. If there's one team to lose that I know is gonna bounce back, it's FaZe. You know, if they want a rematch against OpTic, you know that, so they're gonna come out.
Keep in mind, you gotta keep something in mind though.
Yeah.
They're playing the 2022 World Champions, so it's gonna be tough, right? Like it's gonna be tough.
They're playing.
Toronto,
you're talking about
bro.
Toronto. Oh, you're talking about Toronto.
Yeah, the 2022 World Champions.
Well, Pat, what happened to you? I thought LA Thieves was the OpTic Major Champions. What happened with that?
Listen, like I said, Tom, I fully, and I'm gonna say this, and Cap, I hope you're watching. I fully think this is your fault. I think you're a good coach, but I do think you should take 100% accountability and responsibility for LA Thieves' mishap at this tournament. I think this was LA Thieves' tournament to lose.
But
you
Pat,
came in as the best hardpoint team in the game by a mile. It wasn't even close. Teams were giving you Gavutu, which isn't gonna happen again. And all you had to do was pick Gavutu control against Toronto, and you would literally be waking up tomorrow in a winter finals playing against OpTic, a team who I think you probably would have matched up well against and had a chance to take this tournament. So hopefully you smarten up coming to the next major. But that was just absolutely unacceptable out of you. You're a veteran, you're a legend. That just can't happen. It just can't. And yeah, I think, like I said, Tom, I did predict LA Thieves to take this tournament. And now it can't happen because they decided to play Tuscan Control versus SMG dominant team on an SMG map.
Well, Pat, I was gonna say though, like,
but yeah, go ahead.
The players got to be talking to Cap. I mean, they got to be making these decisions as a team. The coach doesn't just go into it blind.
Cap's a dictator. We know that. We kind of saw that last year, but with their roster changes, right? Cap's a dictator. Everyone knows that. We've seen it.
You think so? You think Cap is saying this is what you guys are playing, and that's that? No, that's not what he's doing.
Cap's looking at the iPad. Listen, guys, we're 2-0. We're 2-0 against Toronto on Tuscan Control. We're gonna play Tuscan Control, and they're like, okay, Cap, please don't drop me. Listen. I'm just keeping it a buck. I think that was the one
you gotta
major
blame the
mishap.
whole. You gotta blame the whole team for those vetoes.
Okay. I will blame the whole team and the organization 1%. I'm blaming Cap 99%.
All right, sounds good. Let's get into the predictions.
Cap's in the chat. He knows. He's defensive because he knows. Like that should have been a Gavutu control, and LA Thieves would be in a winter final right now.
All right, sounds good. Let's get into the predictions. He said Captain Hindsight over here, as Cap said. But let's get into the predictions and let's move on. OpTic Texas going up against the London Royal Ravens, and Atlanta FaZe going up against Toronto Ultra. OpTic in London, that's going to be a winner's bracket match. Atlanta FaZe in Toronto, that's going to be an elimination match. So we'll see how that goes. But let's start it off. OpTic Texas going up against London Royal Ravens. What do you guys think, man? I'm thinking
this is gonna be tough.
Hey, listen, I'm thinking OpTic, but London has some. They have something in them, man. When I look at the stats and I see that they're the number one breaking, hardpoint breaking team, and they're number one in a lot of stats. They're number one in this, they're number one in that, and number one, but a whole bunch of stats. I feel like London they're just doing something right now. They're clicking. But after what OpTic Texas did to FaZe today, I just don't see them losing tomorrow. I just feel like OpTic.
Yeah.
I just feel like OpTic's gonna go all the way, and then we're gonna see an OpTic final versus one of these teams, either FaZe, London, or Toronto. Just because OpTic's gonna ride off what they did today. I mean, they beat FaZe. There's no reason why they can't be in the finals now. They're gonna go all the way through. They're gonna go to the final. And if I had a guess, I think we're gonna see an OpTic FaZe rematch. I think FaZe is gonna beat Toronto. They're gonna do what they gotta do. I think we're gonna see OpTic FaZe in that final. Who do you guys got in the final? What do you guys think?
I think it's going to be OpTic FaZe. That's what I think the final is going to be.
Which, by the way, is also the loser bracket team. No disadvantage going to the grand final.
I'm gonna be honest. I think if FaZe wins their match versus Ultra, you'll see them in the final, and they're going to win it.
Wait.
From the losers bracket.
It's a clean best of 9, zero advantage.
Best of 9, no advantage at all.
That's fugazi.
Fucking.
That's absolute fugazi.
Fugazi,
Yeah.
Yo,
brother.
chat, we need an all caps multiple spam Lynn in the chat because that is insane. Zero advantage.
Listen, hold on. Let's just say something before people take that seriously.
Yeah, it's all 100% Ben's fault.
No, it's not.
Let's make sure that is said and documented because that is fugazi.
Ben doesn't make the schedule for the colleague, Pat. He doesn't make the schedule for the colleague.
He makes the rules. He makes the format. He picks the seeds. He picks where teams are sitting on the stage.
This is actually the LEN World League.
Yeah, it's the LEN World League, and that's fugazi. No advantage, none.
I listen. When I heard that, I immediately just I took a deep breath and I said, come on, bro. I sighed. I said, come on. It just doesn't make any sense, bro. If you don't
There's
lose...
no point to run a double limb if the team coming out of winners has no advantage.
And please don't do that stupid shit where we do best of 9s and there's a team that goes up 1-0. They go 1-0. Oh, fucking shove that map up your ass.
They just got to go back to either 2 best of 5s or continuation.
Yeah, dude,
either one works.
Continuation series were lit, bro.
I
you would
hate
match
the
up against the
idea.
same team.
Oh, for sure. Like you 3-0 them and then you have a 3-0 lead in a best of 11. That's godlike. But listen, I hate the idea that it is hard to explain to the casual viewer how either continuation or 2 best of 5s work. It's the most simplest concept. To be honest, the most complicated shit to explain was the fact that somebody was in a best of 9 up 1-0. Why the fuck did they get a free map? I don't even understand that. But
and I see people in the chat. It's like it's just the winner's gonna have excuses now. But to be fair, I mean, winner's a winner. You're in the grand final, and it's a best of 9, and both teams know that. You gotta go for it. You gotta go for it. Winner.
And you don't even get a veto advantage because there's only 2 maps. Yeah, like you don't get a veto advantage.
There's 2 maps. There's nothing in.
Tommy, before we end the show, let's get our predictions. Who's winning the tournament tomorrow?
Ooh.
Wait, I haven't even done my predictions yet.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, I got fuck. Okay, so kind of like how I said, I think Thieves has the matchup advantage against OpTic and Ravens. I think Ravens is a really good matchup for OpTic, just based on how aggressive they really are. I think it'll come down to the map sets, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a 3-2 upset. So I'm gonna go Ravens upset since my prediction are kind of out of the fucking water now, thanks to JCap. But
you think Ravens is gonna upset?
Yeah, I think Ravens upset.
Okay.
I got FaZe to beat Ultra because Ultra is just so bad in hardpoint right now. I got FaZe to upset them. I got FaZe to get revenge on OpTic, and then I got FaZe to beat the Ravens and win it all. I think FaZe is just thinking that it's a best of 9 now. Their map pool, I feel like it's really hard for other teams to kind of compete with their map pool in a best of 9, especially with no disadvantage coming out of losers. So I got FaZe on the revenge tour to win it all.
All right. I already said my thing. I mean, I said the same thing. Well, I didn't get Royal Ravens upsetting. I had OpTic winning that, going all the way, and then I had FaZe going all the way in losers, so beating Toronto in London. So that's I think it's gonna be OpTic FaZe, and I think FaZe is gonna take it.
I'm in the same boat. I think FaZe map pool is just really, really good. And I mean, at the end of the day, they did lose, but they were up 2-0, right? Can't take that away from them.
I mean, hey, listen, everybody said FaZe today. Everybody on the analyst desk, we all said FaZe yesterday, this and that.
Well, because it was like you pick FaZe, and you in the back of your mind, you wouldn't be surprised if OpTic upset, right? But like if you're a betting man, you're gonna take FaZe. They were overall like.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, bro, at the end of the day, looking at this and knowing how day-to-day COD is, and also just seeing the rosters, these rosters from top to bottom are like pretty even. Like these teams are close, bro. Like really close. The talent is insane, and it's gonna come down to the day and who shows up. And it's not gonna come down to who. It's gonna come down to who's making the less mistakes. That's what it's gonna come down to. Who's the most fundamentally sound? Who's gonna make the less mistakes? Who's gonna come out and feel good, have that energy? Who's gonna play COD the best? Who's gonna come out and do what they gotta do?
I will say that OpTic will beat Ravens, though. They're gonna obviously beat those guys.
I think OpTic's going. I think OpTic's going to the final, and obviously
they got delusional confidence right now.
Obviously, I'm going with FaZe in the final. You know, I'm definitely a little biased there because I'm on FaZe and I'm a FaZe
fan. Bro, they were getting booed off the stage and called and chanted overrated, bro. Like that's disrespectful for the those guys and what they've accomplished recently and in the last couple of years. They got to come with some fire tomorrow, bro. They were literally being called overrated when they literally got to put together that fucking team. Like, come on.
Yeah, well, listen, I definitely think whatever happens tomorrow, it's going to be fucking insane. And I can't wait to fucking watch it. And I'm sure you guys can't wait too, man. It's been a long day, man. I've been live for almost 12 hours now. Literally live all day. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in. We have a lot of exciting shit tomorrow, so I'm really, really excited for it. We're going to be doing a watch party. We'll be live. But as always, guys, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, go to anchor.fm/theflank to check out all the audio sites that we're on. Go to @theflank on Twitter. Guys doing a phenomenal job running socials over there. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. As always, take care, brush your hair, and we'll see you guys next time on another episode of The Flank. Later, guys.
Later.
Dude, I'm serious. I'm tired.